Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have a real interesting video in store for you. We're going to be discussing this past weekend's Fortnite World Cup. So far, the World Cup has been pretty epic. I mean, it is hosted by Epic Games, but aside from that, overall, it's just one of the biggest esports tournaments ever. There is so much money to be earned from the competitors. And because there is so much money on the line, some of us would expect, or I should say most of us, would expect that the tournament would be managed really well, that it would be extremely competitive for the players, and it would have a lot of integrity. And it seems to lack all of those: competitiveness, integrity, and being well managed. To be fair, this past weekend has definitely been a disaster. Not only did Epic Games go back on their word again by making massive, I mean like the biggest changes the game has ever seen less than 48 hours before the World Cup started, by adding in two new crazy spots, Neo Tilted and the Mega Mall, and then implementing the craziest mobility of all time. Being able to fly through the inner circle of the map is just insane. Oh wow, and I almost forgot, they also got rid of the most important gun to their game over the past 2 years, the pump. And I just want to point out, I have not complained at all in this video yet. I am just simply stating facts as to what Epic Games did leading up to the World Cup this weekend. And I just want to say up front here, I had an amazing time watching the qualifiers this weekend, despite all of the bugs and glitches. You guys are going to want to stick around for the end of the video, because I'm going to show you the sickest play ever from Mr. Savage M that helped him qualify. It was absolutely unreal, guys, trust me. But first, we need to talk about the events that happened this weekend, which has ultimately turned it into a major disaster. Now, it's not just those changes they made leading up to the weekend. There were crazy glitches and bugs that happened during the first day of qualifiers that have also added to this being a huge disaster. Now, of course, the slipstreams are just ridiculous, especially when it comes to late game. One, you can't build around them at all, and then two, if you get caught in one during the end game, you're just going to get launched to the storm and die because of it. Let's go ahead and roll a clip from FaZe Jarvis's stream where he was popping off, but ended up losing because of a slipstream. Let's roll it.
You're baiting me. You're baiting me. The slipstream, bro. The slipstream. Oh my god, bro. This kid just got so lucky.
Yikes, that's unfortunate, and I've seen it happen to so many players who were streaming this weekend. It was like unavoidable. The slipstreams are all over the map, and every single time there was a late game around them, players were getting thrown into them and tossed out into the zone to face their own death. And I know some people might say, oh, well, everybody needs to be aware of their positioning and where the slipstreams are. I think that is ridiculous. Players in late games have so much to think about and so many decisions to make. I don't think it should be their responsibility to manage where slipstreams might or might not be. So this was definitely a factor in this past weekend's World Cup qualifiers being an absolute disaster. But no fear, guys, it definitely gets way worse than this. Yesterday in the semi-finals, there was this major bug affecting so many players where you couldn't exit your mobility, whether it was a baller, a hoverboard, an ATK. It didn't matter what you were in, you could press E as many times as you wanted to exit, it would not let you out. And don't you worry, guys, I have a ton of examples because, again, this happened to so many people. Let's roll the first clip of Cloaksy being stuck on a hoverboard.
I can't get off my hoverboard. What is going on? Your game is so shit.
Super unfortunate there for Cloaksy. Fortunately, he did qualify, but this did ruin one of his games. Now here's a clip of a poor player stuck in a tree and he can't exit his ball because the game is broken. Roll it. Mashing your E button and slamming your desk just ain't gonna cut it out, guys. Epic Games don't care. You're stuck in that ball. Moving on to the next clip, we have one of Gearsy, a famous YouTuber, stuck in his ball when he has an opportunity to get a free kill. Let's roll it. Absolutely unfortunate, guys. He ended up not qualifying. He was 1 point away. Getting that kill would have helped him yesterday in the semifinals, but it just didn't work for him. And now in this final clip, we don't have any sound, but geez, I just can't help but feel so bad for this poor kid stuck right here on top of whatever these are called, I don't even know, on his hoverboard. He tries to break out and he tries to break out. You guys will never guess what happens at the end of it. Let's go and roll the rest of it with some music. Wow, he died. Wow, so unlucky. Then we have another poor kid here stuck in his baller. So as you guys can see from all of this footage, people were stuck. They just couldn't exit their mobility or vehicles. And there's no doubt in my mind that there are a ton of players out there like Gearsy who failed to qualify because of this awful glitch. So this helped make the World Cup a disaster this weekend. Now it doesn't stop here, guys, because Epic Games and Fortnite couldn't find a solution to this bug or glitch or whatever it was. They ended up having to delete all vehicles heading into the Sunday finals. Let's take a look at what they tweeted. Due to an issue where players can become stuck in a vehicle and unable to exit, we will be disabling all vehicles for the remainder of this week's tournament. All regions will play the Sunday finals with vehicles disabled. That's right, guys. They literally disabled every single vehicle less than 8 hours away from the finals. So not only did they make the biggest changes to the game ever, less than 2 days from the World Cup semifinals, there was also major glitches in the semifinals not allowing players to leave their vehicles. Then going into the finals, they decided to just disable all vehicles. It was a complete disaster, guys, and I'm sure you already know pro players were responding to this tweet and absolutely freaking out. We'll go ahead and jump into those. Taking a look at Tifu's response, he said, "I'm so glad I'm not playing this week because luckily for him, he already qualified, so he didn't have to deal with these crazy bugs or the changes to mobility." Moving on to the next message, this comes out from TSM Cloud. He said, "I'm gonna lose my effing mind. Unfortunate, seems like he is tired of all of the changes, just wants to play a game." Then a competitive player, Finex, who is a free agent and really good, said, "Ha ha ha, your game is dog. You should just delete the game entirely, bunch of wanks." Yeah, he's clearly not happy at all. Then 72 Hours from Team Liquid said this, "Well, there goes my entire game plan." And to be fair, there goes a lot of players' game plans. I'm pretty sure at least 50%, maybe even like 70% of the players rely on vehicles to get around the map. So I'm sure that's going to be a big hit to a lot of players. And I guess you just got to adapt, right guys? Next post comes out from Milan from Secret. He said, "Nice to wake up to. GG. Imagine sleeping like most people in probably Oceania, Asia, and Europe were, then waking up to this 2 hours before the qualifiers and just learning you have to switch your entire gameplay up because there's not going to be any mobility. Unreal. $100 million tournament, by the way. That is crazy." Then Epic Whale from my team said this, "Good thing I already qualified. y'all are pissed. And he ain't wrong, man. Good thing he did qualify, because now this is like next level. We're talking about, oh, these pro players should need to adapt. But like making them play under these circumstances is just, it's unreal. It's crazy. I get it, some games need to change up the meta during esports events, but this is just too much. Then this tweet came out after the European qualifiers from Tifu. He said, "I feel bad for players trying to qualify this week. Good luck." Damn, he is so right. I can't believe playing under these circumstances as a pro player. I'd be losing my mind. And I know you guys are saying, oh, quit complaining, blah, blah, blah. This is insane. These are tough circumstances to play under. So at this point, I don't know what to say. I mean, the World Cup is slowly turning into a joke. It was an absolute disaster this past weekend, and I predicted this. I hate to throw it back in your faces, guys, but as soon as they announced these patch notes changing everything up, I said there was going to be so many bugs and glitches this weekend. And guess what happened? There was so many bugs and glitches that were impacting the game in major ways and turned it into an absolute disaster. And this all happened because Epic Games decided to make these crazy changes 2 days before the qualifiers. I mean, it was obvious this was going to happen. I can't believe some people even argued and said, oh, it'll be fine, you know, they had some time to put this update in. I don't think there will be many bugs. Yeah, you were wrong. You were wrong. This weekend was filled with bugs and glitches, and it hurt people's chances at qualifying for New York and 50K. So that's pretty much it, guys. The World Cup qualifiers this weekend were pretty bad, and I hope next week is better, because if it's not, ooh, that's gonna be a yikes. Anyways, let's move on to the last part of the video, guys, and let me show you that play from Mr. Savage M that I was talking about, which is the sickest play I have ever seen. Roll it.
Nice edits. Look, he actually went back just to see. Are you still here? Can I still make a play?
He heard the mini pop from up above. Trying everything to spray him on down. Mr. Savage now at 52 points. This is now a 9-point game. Now remember, top 5 earns 2 more placement points. Pops another shadow bomb. And this is where you mentioned the grenade launcher really not too useful this far into the game. So yes, great. An 18 rocket grenade launcher, but now finds a shot.
Is the person who will make it work. He is so innovative, and he takes out Mitro. This is what I was talking about.
No
that
way.
matters. Say it, Aqua. This game was stacked with players who were 100% in the running for qualification. He just took out Mitro and Aqua back to back, now top 4.
Folks, you might be witnessing live why Mr. Savage qualifies this week for a trip to the World Cup Finals in New York. I'm sorry for anything I said about the grenade launcher, because apparently he's using it perfectly and making me look like an idiot. Mr. Savage M. Building on up, 22 builds remaining. The spray comes in a 72 tag, another elimination. Now 8 elims this game. They've got to go up the side of a mountain, and it's shadow bomb time. Look at how awkward this is. He's getting completely blocked then out. He's deciding to take storm damage.
Yes.
Mr. Savage! Oh my God!
You did not!
Oh my God! Oh my goodness!
What a play!
The best shadow bomb use I've ever seen! Mr. Savage M rising to the top of the mountain like his plain will when this freak of nature probably goes to New York. Take it away, Zeke and Sundown. I'm gonna faint.
Oh my God. Oh my God. This is that was crazy.
Oh, I'm supposed to talk now after that? So we have an instant replay. Let's check that out first, just because that was absolutely absurd.
Yeah, honestly, I have no words for that. That was absolutely insane. Mr. Savage M qualified today. He's an absolute god. That's going to be it for the video, guys. If you enjoyed it, do me a favor by dropping a like on it and subscribing to my channel for more daily content. Thank you for watching. I'm out of here, guys. Peace.